Coming up on Beavers All Access, Jamie Lance and company sweep all 4 events in their home opener against California. Time runs out as the Buzzard beats the Beavers out of their miracle finish. Plus, it's Civil War week, and Beaver fans are looking to relive some recent history. All this and more next on Beavers All Access. From the Big River Restaurant in downtown Corvallis, this is Beavers All Access. Here's your host, Todd Mansfield.
So glad you could join us for another edition of Beavers All Access. Great show coming up today. We're going to sit down and talk with LaVonda Wagner, the women's basketball head coach, about their home and home with Oregon, and also the men's basketball coach, Jay John, as they get ready for some big showdowns with Washington and Washington State. But before we go there, let's start with swimming, because it was a really big weekend for them. It was senior night, and what a night it was, because it came down to the final race, the 400 free relay. Oregon State won that, and with that, the meet 133 to 129 over Washington State. Sari Haraguchi had a great night as well. She won all 3 events, the 100 back, 200 back, and 100 fly. The much anticipated start to the national champion defense for the baseball team starts tomorrow through Saturday as the team finds themselves in Hawaii to start things off against Hawaii Hilo. Catch the games online or on the radio, 1360 KUIK. Don't forget football. They came back into town. An opportunity to be honored at and during the game versus Stanford inside Gill Coliseum. They held up the trophy from that Sun Bowl win, 39-38 over Missouri. Everybody having a great time. Smiles, pats on the back abound. Time now to be joined by the head coach, Jay John, men's basketball team. Good to see you. Doing real well. You know what? We have got another big week. And it's an interesting week because it's Washington State, and at Washington. What's up with the Cougs? Usually they're not at the top half of the Pac-10, but something's turned them around. What's going on with this team?
Well, Dick Bennett said when he first got there, for his, it'll be 4 years ago, he says, so we got to try to recruit some kids that can endure losing for 3 years, and before it's going to start to look the way we want it to look. And he's done it. He's done it many, many times in terms of turning the program around. So he must know, he knows what he's talking about, and this is the fruit of the labor, the fruit of the work, and those kids now, the juniors and seniors, they're good, they're solid, they know what they're doing, and they're off to a great start and middle of the season. Washington
has all of a sudden found themselves struggling somewhat, and they've still got the talent, but it's not clicking. Is that what's going on?
Well, they are playing with a lot of young guys. I don't believe that there is a couple seniors on the team, but they aren't prime guys, and there's some inexperience at the point guard position, and so it's in there. They're close on things. They've started with 5 of their first 7 Pac-10 games on the road, and it's interesting though the way that it's played out that way. But it looks like they're falling off, but they're at the surface. They're not that far away.
All right. Well, certainly 2 big games for Oregon State this week. Now, one of the ways that you guys have really started to improve is not necessarily those games, it's practice. C.J. Giles. Let's talk about this. A great addition.
Well, it is. He's just, people will be able to look back and say that we haven't had a player at Oregon State like that in X number of years, whatever they want to come up with. But he's a phenomenal talent. He's been practicing with us now for a couple of weeks, and it's made a significant impact in our practices. He brings a different level of energy. He's a difference maker and a go-to guy, and at this point, that's something that we lack here and there. In terms of just one guy, let's go get the ball down to him, or come up with a big shot block or rebound or something like that.
Now, what is Kansas's loss is Oregon State's gain. There's no doubt about it. We're going to step aside for a moment. When we come back, an opportunity to look back at this past weekend of action and so much more. Don't go away. This is Beavers All Access.
Still ahead on Beavers All Access. Mandy Close gave the Ducks a preview of their future. And the Bears play rough with their neighbors to the north. More of Beavers All Access is on the way.
Beavers All Access!
The 21st ranked gymnastics squad at Oregon State got off to a nice start this season with a home win over Cal on Saturday. Sophomore Jamie Lands won the all-around, winning the vault and the beam titles as well. Now, if you've been looking for sophomore All-America Tasha Smith, she is still out with a knee injury for the second straight week. They'd love to get her back in somewhere in the next 2 weeks because next week they are at number 8 Arizona. They return home to Gill the following week. That's Friday, February 7th, Arizona State at 7 o'clock inside Gill.
From the Big River Restaurant in downtown Corvallis, this is Beavers All Access.
Todd Mansfield, Jay John with you, and it's time for us to go back, talk a little bit about the games you played last week, Thursday, Saturday, Cal, Stanford, buzzer beater. Everybody saw it. Yes, no, what were your initial thoughts when that shot went?
My initial thoughts were that it was late.
McGillis, three, no, the pull went in, but it was late, and California wins.
On the pass up to Angelo, at the beginning part of that play, it was a little bit behind him. I mean, he could have had a look, or he would have had to penetrate, come back across the lane and kick at the jack in the corner, but it got delayed a little bit, and then it was a fraction of a second late.
Yeah, no doubt it was a great game all the way down to the end. Marcel Jones, wow, he's really stepped up. 29 points in that game. He found his offensive stroke.
Well, in that game, he made 29 points on 15 field goal attempts. So, I mean, he was a very efficient player throughout, which that's a great game for him, and he really did a wonderful job.
Yeah, and other players as well. You can't talk enough about Rulen Schaffner. He started to really develop the young freshman, playing especially on the defensive end. I've had people comment about it.
Yeah, his confidence is gaining, and he came into the game in the second half, and where Ryan Anderson had 18 first half points, he didn't score in the 8 minutes that Rulen defended him, and really gave us some stability on the defensive end, and so his confidence is coming.
He showed it also against Stanford on Saturday, a game that was really put together a fine first half performance by your team.
He did a wonderful job, and I was pleased with the guys and their efforts. Throughout the weekend. I mean, we played the game offensively with just 17 turnovers in 80 minutes. Only 7 against Stanford. Stanford had 18 turnovers. So we were competitive in battling, and at this point, we need to have our guards. We need to hit a couple of jump shots, just to an easy basket. Everything. We're obviously getting decent shots because we're not turning it over. We shot a good percentage against Cal, but we got to hit the free throws when we get them, and we need to hit some. We just need to hit some jumpers to just make the pressure not so much on the big guys inside.
No doubt. One of the ways to maybe release some of that pressure, new locker room. That thing's a thing of beauty, huh?
The locker room is everything we've wanted it to be. No doubt about that.
Yeah, and if that's what you think Coach thinks about it, how about some of the players? Let's go find out exactly what some of the guys on the hardwood think about on the soft leather.
Well, it blows you away is how nice it is, because the locker room we had before, it was normal locker room. It wasn't bad, just a normal locker room. There's nothing fancy about it. This locker room is just more like, it's more modern, and it's kind of flashy, and it catches your eye, and it just makes you excited to come back and be around the guys again the next day.
I think we were all excited. We were all. It's kind of playing with a new pair of shoes, or like getting something new. It's that feeling. You just kind of like want to go to practice for a little bit. You want to spend time in the locker room and stuff like that. I
know the players are very excited. We were all jumping and couldn't wait to get in here. So it was very anticipated, and we're very, very pleased with the finished product.
Besides the NBA locker rooms that we played in, practice and tournament and stuff like that, I think this is the best locker room we've been in so far.
I've been in the Blazers locker room a lot, and the Suns and the Clippers, and they were nice, but this is kind of like nice in its own different way.
This is a great locker room. I've been to a couple, and this is probably ranks number 1.
Something new like the locker room is going to be high on style, but it might be even higher on substance.
Well, the new one has different features. I mean, we have power in our locker. We have outlets, and it's just a bigger place. The TVs, places to watch our film, game film. We have a study room. So it's just we have different options.
Besides all like the different sections, you know, place to put the shoes, the little safe part with the combination. You know, it's only yours, and you only know the combination. The upper part is ventilated. We have an internet access port.
We have a changing room. We have a lounge, and now we have a media room. It's only for game preparation stuff.
The lounge is the most comfortable part, but this is the most like efficient one. Like, I mean, there's everything you can think of, basically everything we talked about in the offseason, what we would like have in the locker room. Basically, we have in our own lockers, like outside here. And as soon as all the details were done and everything, this locker room was pretty impressive.
It's so impressive that sometimes it's hard to get the players to leave. The reason why? They all have a special place.
I would have to say the lounge, the players' lounge.
I gotta say the lounge.
Obviously, it's the lounge.
After a hard practice, we can come down here and just, you know, kind of sprawl out.
That's where we spend most of the time with TVs and just mostly hanging out.
Because that's where you get to hang out and joke around with your friends and play video games and watch TV, and it's just that's the best part by far.
You know, there seems to be a pecking order, too, down there. It's almost like I got shotgun in terms of who gets the best seat and who gets to, you know, create the most space and lounging out and type of thing. So, you know, the kids are having a good time with it. They look at me cross-eyed sometimes like, Coach, you're not supposed to be here. We got things going on. But, you know, it's been wonderful. I want the guys to enjoy it and have it be like a dorm or an apartment away from home type of thing, and it's been great for us.
Good. Coach, good luck this week. You got 2 tough ones on the road.
Yes, we do.
Good luck.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, Coach Jay John joining us there. Time for us to take a break. Coming up next, women's basketball coach LaVonda Wagner.
Coming up next, the mighty Casey scores again while the Pack follows her lead. And the Beavers plan to celebrate again after this week's Civil War. You're watching Beavers All Access. Beavers All Access is brought to you by Standard TV and Appliance and by the Big River Restaurant, home of Beavers All Access. From the Big River Restaurant in downtown Corvallis, here's your host, Todd Mansfield.
Welcome back, everyone. LaVonda Wagner, head women's basketball coach, joining me now, and we've got to talk about it. It is the Northwest Dodge Civil War Series, and it's going on this week. Got a home-and-home game tonight, game Sunday. Let's talk about this team with Oregon. Senior-laden squad down at Mac Court. Tell me more.
You know, they're an excellent basketball team. They shoot the three-point shot very, very well. They lead the conference in three-point shooting and makes and takes. And they're also excellent at Mac Court. So it'll be a big challenge for us, but we're looking to get better.
And when you got a team that's shooting that long three-pointer, how do you as a coach then, as you prepare, get that team to rebound even better this week? Because there's going to be some.
Absolutely, Todd. We've got to be in a position that we get our body on someone. We've got to have strong box outs, and we've got to push people back and get to the ball. A lot of people right now are beating us to the ball, and we've got to get to the ball and get it out and see if we can get some easy baskets in transition.
You've got that sophomore point guard in Mercedes Fox Griffin. You've got a starting forward and center who are freshmen at 6 foot, 5'11". How do you do this going down to Mac Court?
You know, we really have just spent a lot of time focusing on what we have and what we need to do to be successful. Every day in practice, that's what we talk about, getting better every single day. And we just feel like if we can run our stuff, our offensive stuff, and execute and limit our turnovers, and I really like our opportunities. And then we have to get some stops on the other end. And it's all about possessions. And possessions, that's getting loose balls. That's, you know, maybe getting some charge calls and rebounding the basketball.
Well, that's what we're going to look for down at Mac Court. Now, you know, last year there was an opportunity. Mac Court didn't treat you as well, but let's talk about what happened at Gill, because that was something special. There's no doubt about it. And it really kind of starts with what happened at the end of the first half in Mandy.
You know, that was vintage Civil War. I mean, it came down to the last shot. Mandy Close, the senior point guard at that time, took the ball coast to coast, was able to get the and one and hit the shot at the free throw line as well. So it was a good ending for us. It was a good win. It was my first Oregon win, so it was very nice. And then we had to go up to Mac Court and play them, and they won that game. And they're a very competitive basketball team, very organized on the offensive end, and we've just got to be ready to play.
Well, it's a showcase of some more of the talent that Oregon has. Really an opportunity to show that Oregon as a state as a whole, the Northwest as well, is a true hotbed for basketball.
It is. There's a tremendous amount of talent on the high school level here in the state of Oregon. The AAU programs are just excellent here, and there's a lot of programs in the Pac-10 that have Oregon players on their team. We just experienced that at both Cal and Stanford.
Yeah. Well, we're looking for lots of people to come on out to Gill on Sunday. It's going to be a great game. Again, the Northwest Dodge Civil War Series, home and home game tonight. You can certainly catch it on radio throughout the Oregon State Beavers network and online, and then the game on Sunday as well at Gill. We will see you there. In the meantime, I'm going to take a break and be back with a lot more.
Coming up next on Beavers All Access, an OSU heavyweight leads the way to another victory on the mats. And 3 leaders of the pack call Corvallis home.
Beaver All Access on Fox.
19th ranked wrestling team swept 2 duels this past weekend. Senior wrestler Ty Watterson, who happens to be ranked 13th in the country in the heavyweight division, took down another top 20 wrestler, giving him 72 career wins. And how about senior Bobby Finnig's 4th pin of the season for him, moving him into the top 50 all time at Oregon State with 14 pins. Now at 11-1, the Oregon State wrestling team getting ready to do it again. So come on out and see those nationally ranked wrestlers in Watterson, Finnig's, and Larson take on perennial powers in the Pac-10, Arizona State on Friday at 7 p.m. inside Gill, and then Boise State at Sunday at noon.
From the Big River Restaurant in downtown Corvallis, this is Beavers All Access.
Welcome back, everyone. Todd Mansfield, LaVonda Wagner. Time for us to look back at this past weekend. Let's dive right in. The Cal game on Thursday. You guys at one point down 15, fought right back. You guys tooth and nail right there at the end with a sophomore on the floor and 4 freshmen.
That was a great basketball game. Even though we didn't come out the way we wanted to, we had 4 freshmen on the floor and a sophomore point guard who had limited game experience last year, and they were able to fight back and do some good things and execute. And that was something for us to build on and very positive going into the next game with Stanford.
Yeah, it was really toe-to-toe against a front line that is considered one of the best in the nation. Those guys are strong and ranked 22nd. So you take that and then, you go down the road to
Maples.
To
play Stanford.
Oh, number 9 in the country. And you take that same team, and yet you went toe-to-toe with these guys. And that first half, you had it rolling, you were clicking. Let's talk about it.
We did. We played the first half of 20 minutes of basketball. We did an excellent job of executing our stuff, and we also did a good job on the offensive boards, and we got some stops. In the second half, they got some rebounds, and were able to get in their transition game and get some easy baskets, and they shot 61%, and we come out of there with a 14-point deficit. However, based on last year, with a postseason team that I had with 4 seniors, and they beat us by an average of 30 points, and then coming in this year with a freshman team and playing a lot of freshmen, to walk out of there and to cut into it by 15 points, it's a very positive thing for us.
There's no doubt, and the team that Stanford's got this year happens to be a little bit better than the team they had last year. They keep going. So you guys making that jump as well. I don't think we can forget about that. And you know what? She may not say it, but I'm going to say it. You know what? 29-8 run in the first half, and nobody's held them to 23. And they've played some great teams this year, so that puts you right on par with them. Let's talk about some of your players that are doing a great job this year. Casey Nash right now, senior leadership.
Casey Nash is doing an excellent job. This is a student athlete that last year averaged 6 points a game for us. Started at the end of the season, didn't start in the beginning, and she really has stepped up day in and day out. And she is really drawing a lot of attention. Double team, she's being played very physical, and she continues to get her shots and to knock down baskets for us, which we have to have that. And she's leading the Pac-10 in scoring right now and ranked in the top 20 in the nation.
That's right. And Mercedes Fox Griffin, no time last year, making the most of hers this year. One of the best assist playmakers right now.
Mercedes is doing an excellent job of distributing the basketball. She is a sophomore, got limited playing experience last year. She's in the top 2 in assists in the Pac-10, and she's also in the top 3 in the nation in assists. So she's doing a very good job for us, and she's able to get into some defenses and really break them down. And I'm just really proud of the effort that she's given us.
And I don't understand how Judy Lomax at 5'11", going against trees, 6'5", 6'4", shooting 69% from the field.
You know, my thing with Judy is she doesn't take enough shots. The ones that she takes, she's making, but she doesn't take enough shots for us right now. And the one thing that she does is she just works at it very, very hard, and she gets layups right under the basket, and she's able to finish and get to the free throw line. We've got to work on her shooting a higher free throw percentage.
Yeah.
That's got to get done.
That's right. Well, they're young, and you know it's going to keep coming because they keep working hard under the leadership of LaVonda Wagner. Great week going on this week, of course. It's the Northwest Dodge Civil War Series. Tonight, it's down at Mack Court. Then on Sunday at 5:30, it's at Gill. We want to make sure all of you are out there. LaVonda, thank you. Good luck this week.
Thank you. Come out, support us. I want Operation Orange in effect. Lots of orange in Gill, 5:30 on Sunday.
No doubt. We'll just drown out all that green and all that yellow. Until then, have a great week, everybody. Thanks for joining us for another edition of Beavers All Access.